Howdy, welcome back. I'm Steven, and this is FWP Reviews. Every year, students in college, high school, and middle school alike all look forward to a few things. One of those is winter break. Winter break is something students almost universally look forward to more than anything, except for, of course, summer break. It's a time free from excessive classes and responsibilities. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'll spend time free from classes and responsibilities watching more movies. And to be honest, I've seen a lot of great movies and TV over the past 4 to 5 weeks. Honestly, this winter break was a little excessive in length, but you know what that means. More movies. So I just want to share that with you guys. Anyways, in a world where binging is always the hot craze, I'm going to talk about what I've been binging over my holiday break. Firstly, I've been watching a lot of the show, The 100. Personally, it's one of my favorite guilty pleasure shows. Last year, the show wrapped up its final and 7th season, so now I'm doing a full series rewatch so I can do a video on one of my favorite TV shows. The show has so much more to it than my memory even scratched the surface of. I'm excited to continue diving into it and eventually making a great video about it. Litterbox has continued to be one of my favorite apps for keeping up with the movies I watch and giving them ratings. Under my all-time stats page, there's a bunch of different lists and how many movies you've watched off said list. They've got a list of the top 250 narrative movies on the app, and I've been watching those and catching up on some of the movies that I just seem to miss out on. One movie on this list I watched was Paths of Glory. I absolutely love this movie. It has a lot of effective and exciting moments in it that showcase the real horror of war. In this case, particularly World War I. There's incredible filmmaking and incredible performances in this movie. This is all fine and dandy, but what really makes this movie special is its power dynamics between officers and soldiers on the battlefield. We see these dynamics between these two parties play out very effectively against the thematic backgrounds of the movie. I believe this movie has definitely earned its spot on this list. Goodfellas is a movie I've been meaning to watch for absolutely ages. One day it showed up on Netflix and I figured, what the heck, I really need to watch this movie. And after watching it, I can say with confidence that this is a freaking good movie. It spans over such an extensive period of time, but it has such a unique cohesiveness to it. It's entertaining and absolutely fascinating. Martin Scorsese absolutely knocks it out of the park with this movie. I also watched the movie There Will Be Blood. This movie is magnificent. It draws you into the absolute show that is playing out in front of you. There were great performances and great characters, and there was a great narrative, and there were great visuals, and there was just so much to this movie. I really enjoyed seeing all that this movie had to offer. Movie series have their place in movie history as ways to tell long forms of storytelling. Movie series enable longer forms of storytelling that wouldn't really be possible in just one movie. Personally, when I think of movie series, trilogies always seem to come to mind. Trilogies are some of the most common ways that we carry out these movie series. Something about that 3-movie series just really works in most cases. There are a ton of great movie series out there, and one of my personal favorites is the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Over this break, I did of course watch the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I did this for 2 reasons. Because I love it, and because I'm going to do a video on it later. Because I'm doing a video on this movie next month, I don't want to get too deep into my thoughts on the trilogy, but I am going to share a few thoughts now. In these movies, there's great music, animation, themes, characters, and there's just so much emotion to it. This trilogy is a personal favorite of mine, and if you haven't seen it yet, I do implore you to finally check it out. Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame are the culmination of what the might of the MCU was and will continue to be. I absolutely adore these movies. I have incredible memories watching them in the theaters as well as afterwards. There's just something so special about the monumental nature of these films. The way that it just caps a 20-something movie arc is just absolutely astounding. I will dive deeper into my thoughts about these movies and their monumental nature in my video next week. Until then, just remember, these movies are incredible. One movie that didn't really fall into any of the other categories is Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm of course talking about the 2011 movie directed by David Fincher starring Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara. On that note, a funny story. This movie, as some of you may know, is based off of a trilogy of books that was published in Sweden. Before this movie was made, there were 3 television movies based off of each of the corresponding books made in Sweden. I did not know this. So 3 or 4 months ago, I started watching the Swedish version from 2009. It took me, a good hour and a half before I realized that Daniel Craig was not going to be showing up in this movie. As embarrassing as that is, that movie was great. But this one, I feel like has something even better about it. The time has come and I finally got around to watching it, so here are a few of my thoughts. I would not hesitate to say that I think this movie is somewhat of a masterpiece. I think the book has a really, really interesting narrative and a really interesting take on the genre. And I think that somehow this movie has elevated that and made it even more entertaining. David Fincher brings something special to the table, as well as our 2 leads, Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara. I think all the supporting performances are great and they contribute to the great atmosphere this movie has. I found it to be extremely entertaining and tense, even though I already knew what was going to happen. I will not hesitate to say I think this is one of the best movies of the last decade. With that, I'm going to wrap this video up. Winter break is always a good time to catch up on some movies that you haven't seen or movies that you have seen before and you want to rewatch them. I watched a lot of movies, a lot of different movies, and it was just a really great experience to be able to catch up on these and to now sum it up in a video for you guys. I watched a lot of great stuff, but did you watch anything great over winter break? Let me know down below. We'll have a little discussion about it. I love talking to you guys about movies. I'll see you guys next week for my FWP Essential video about Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. With that, this is FWP Reviews signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.